see. Video. No, that's not. I don't know. I've never experienced this thing before. What to do? Oh well, we'll just have to wing it. Maybe it's because I was eating something on my laptop. Maybe my things are all plugged. I sit up my laptop when I'm eating food. Maybe I've done something to it. Where's the Oh, I could use my headphones. Oh, I don't even have one of those ports, Paul. Do I? I don't think I have one. Think so?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna test now. Come on. Hello. Oh. Why is it not? How's that? Is that better?
There.
Yeah, way better.
Oh.
I can hear ya.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you good.
Oh, is that so? That's better.
Really good now.
Yeah. Huh. Strange. Okay. So we have got a few people on. Oh, I don't see any guys. What's wrong with the guys? They don't like us.
No, they don't. They're intimidated by us women.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Paul, you better come. Need some testosterone here or whatever.
He's probably like, I'm not going anywhere near you guys.
Crazy women. So, you know what I thought I'd do today? Just because, general questions from different people and not so much from Flock, like the general hub, but just kind of me dealing with people. I thought I'd just do a quick run through of a couple things. So, responsibilities when you become a sponsor, like, the mentoring thing like that. Like, that's something that's new for most people, and it can kind of be intimidating because you feel like, okay, and for most people, like, I should say not for most people, but for us, we were not mentors until the 3rd month in at least, or was it the 4th month? Yeah, the 4th month. So I forgot all about the training. I forgot how to even, I wasn't even making ads by that time anymore. I just let ours run that we had going. I didn't know how to set up a Facebook page anymore. It was just, that was a faint memory almost by that time. So what I did is I went a lot each day when I was first getting those new people would become we would sponsor them. I would go to the training site and have to basically redo the whole, go through everything. And so that's something that really, really helped me. So if anybody else has had those kind of issues lately, you feel like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to do now that I'm a mentor. I would thought, what I'll do, just a quick through, just some things that I thought that, just came to my mind as I was thinking about what we could talk about today. So as far as mentoring, when it comes to the paperwork, I use DocuSign, same as Mike did or does. And these forms, sometimes people will use them and forward them to Enagic. Actually, they're not meant to forward to Enagic. Every time when you get them, when you're finished, you download them to your computer, save them as a PDF, and then save them to a file. Like what I have on my computer is I have a folder called Team Members. And then in that Team Members folder, I make another folder with the name of the team member. And so that's where I save those PDFs, and then I attach them to the email. Now, once you have that saved to your computer, you want to, now you're ready for your email to Enagic. So they're on the training site, and I forget exactly where it is. I think it's under running your business, submitting new sales, something to Enagic. There's actually a format there of exactly how your email should be formatted. Like, so you know how in the subject line you have certain new distributor and product order, and then dash the name. So if I was to be putting in an order for Angela, if I was, submitting, and Angela was my new distributor, I would have Angela's name right in the subject line, because it makes it easier for Enagic if they have to refer back. If there's any questions on it, then they can go back to that email. Because when you think about how many emails they get, it makes it that much easier. So anyway, that's just something as a little tip there for when you're emailing them. So the next thing I wanted to mention is make sure that this new distributor, the new applicant, does not just have a PO box. If they want their stuff delivered, their mail, like they want their mailing address as a PO box, which is fine, but FedEx cannot deliver to PO boxes, so you need a physical address in that alternate, the alternate line there. So and that's where that's the destination. So even if it's a different province, so when you're computing taxes, it's always the place of delivery, like where the shipment is going to. That's the tax information you use, not the actual like the mailing address. Even though they will email the future checks, like commission checks, to that email address, or sorry, to that PO box. But as far as shipping the product, that's what you base the shipping tax, like the shipping tax on, which is different for each province. Of course, if you're picking up your product, that's a whole different story. Now, about this came up in a conversation today with Helena and myself. They do not, Enagic does not, in Canada, do not accept debit Visa cards. And Helena, did you find that anywhere in the training site that it even mentions that?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I haven't found it.
No, I don't remember ever seeing that either. It's just, I think Mike just mentioned it in a way back mastermind or somewhere. So if you see that they are using a debit credit card, then you'll have to get back to them and say, hey, that's not acceptable. But in person, you certainly can, because what they do is they actually have to have that card to physically swipe their machine. Then they can use that debit Visa card.
The debit.
Sorry, go ahead.
The debit Visa is on when they sign up on our landing pages, on our business pages, and then they sign in. I think is where, or maybe the workshops. $99 you can buy in with a debit Visa, so that might be what gets people confused, because I know I wanted to use my debit Visa too. But Enagic is saying Visa or MasterCard only
for the product order. Yes. Yeah. And I'm not sure why our system, because see, we can use PayPal for the $99, right? Whereas with Enagic, you can't use that either.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, when you are processing a trifecta, when you're the sponsor on a trifecta, the only place that you will have your name listed is on the first form. The second and the third form, your name isn't anywhere on them. All you're doing on the second and the third forms is you're filling in the price information and double checking what they've entered. Your name doesn't go on anywhere, because that's not your order, that's their order. The only order that you're sponsoring them is on the first order of the trifecta. Does that make sense? Like, is that clear? Because if anybody has questions on that, because often this is something that gets, like, actually quite often it gets asked. So if anybody has a question on that, just, maybe have it explained in a different way or anything like that.
Yeah, I can ask a question.
Go ahead.
So if it's not a trifecta and it's just, say, the Ukon Sigma or Ukon DD, and that's all they're purchasing, does that I guess that would be the only thing that I can sponsor, the only product that I can sponsor. So do they lose a point? You know how we get commissions on 2 of the 3?
Right. Yeah.
Like trifecta until the Ukon level is at $200 or whatnot, and then it comes to you, right? But
Yeah. If they're just getting one product, that all they're basically doing is they're becoming a distributor. They don't get a point or commissions on that one product. Just you, the sponsor, does.
okay. So then they still have to get 2 direct sales.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's why, like, oh, right. You and I were talking about, like, you know how on the team sheet, the team sales sheet that's included on the training site where you can record your team.
Right.
Yeah. There's only 2 spots, and it's in a trifecta. You would put the second and the third sale there.
Second. Okay.
Yeah, because the first one isn't a sale for you; it's a sale for your sponsor.
Okay. That's where I got confused.
Yeah.
So, but I get the points though, correct? Like,
yes.
Anyone who signs up with Ukon, I get the 1 point, or the Ukon DD.
You as the sponsor, yes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
That's sponsor, but not, okay. Thanks. Yeah. I think I got that.
You know, it takes a while to wrap our brain around that. It took me a while too. So if anybody else says, oh, what was that again? Like 5 months down the road, don't feel bad. It took me a while too, because it's something we're doing different that we're not used to. We didn't learn this in school.
No, and also, okay, so we talked about it earlier, but I'm still the points. So if one of my team is at a 2A and I'm at a 2A, they get commissions as well as I get commissions, the 2A commissions.
Okay, so there was a little bit some noise and I couldn't quite hear you. Can you say that again, Helena?
So we both get the 2A commissions. Is that correct? When they're 2A and I'm 2A.
So if you're sponsoring someone and they're buying let's say they buy a trifecta.
Right.
Right. They don't get 3 points. They get 2 points.
2 points.
Yeah, because the sale number 2, sale number, like the first order of like when you picture the forms, there's always 1, 2, 3. So the top one, that's just makes them a distributor.
Okay.
The second and third is what they are personally. They are the sponsor and the applicant. But Enagic allows us to sell to ourselves. So those are your first 2 direct sales. And that is one of the neat things about Enagic is they allow us to sell to ourselves. Here, you want the credit card, Paul? You're not going to leave me with your credit card?
Everybody wants
What's the number? No.
Yeah, what's the back there? Yeah, Paul. The girls need to go shopping. Yeah. Gee. Yeah, so because Enagic allows us to sell to ourselves, thereby filling up the first 2 legs, which we are required to do to become to a distributor. And that is one of the beauties. If you can start the business with becoming like coming in with a trifecta, what it also does is, those are going to be 1A legs in that first when you first buy your trifecta, sale 1 and sale 2, those are going to be 1A legs. So in the future, when you sponsor someone else, they'll be in your 2A leg, meaning you, of course, get double commissions. But let's say you sponsor someone like Kelly. Kelly, she's just mover and a shaker. She goes to sponsor like hundreds of people. Well, like if you having sponsored Kelly in the 2A leg, you will receive double commissions for the rest of all of Kelly's business. Whereas if you sponsor Kelly when you're a 1A, you only ever receive 1A commissions on all of her business.
Oh.
So that's one of the
no matter what.
Trifecta is so much more money in the bank for you. Oh, are you?
Okay. So do you mean like so if I sponsor somebody and I'm in a 1A leg right now, say, and I sponsor say like Kelly, when I move up change those commissions? Those commissions will always be at the 1A. Is that what you mean? Or
That's right. Yeah.
as long as
on Kelly's business, you will always earn one slice of her business because you sponsored her when you were a 1A.
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no matter how far you move.
Right. Like those people that you sponsor in your 5A leg, those ones you get, 5 times the commissions, like 5 slices of the pie.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. You never go backwards, but you never you always keep your like the slices of the pie you get on their sales is the from the time when you sponsored them. For example, so we sponsored Ryan Peterson when we were 2As.
Okay.
Ryan Peterson and Sherry Shaw, they were sort of one day after the other what we sponsored them. I think actually Sherry Shaw was first because the paperwork went through first. But anyway, Ryan went on to become a 6A. And still, if I look on our genealogy report, I always just received 2 slices of his whole business.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense to be, and if you can, to go in with a trifecta. I know it's not everybody can, but if you can, and and sometimes like people, like if you can't do it up front, do it later on. Like when you all of a sudden see that your ads are starting to take off and you're starting to get buyers, but let's say they take a while to become distributors, because that's another thing like I should touch on. Like it is such a process. Like it does take a while for buyers to become distributors. First of all, if they're going for financing, it can take months sometimes. Some people take a long time to decide. They need to get their ducks in the row. So it can take a while. But anyway, during that time when you are starting to get buyers and people who want to become distributors, and you are only a 1A, you can say, hey, I would like to put another sale or 2 sales right now before I sponsor these people, because that means they will be, you will have 2A commissions on that next sale. So you do make more money. Does that kind of clear as mud? Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good. Great.
Hey. Did you have a question there, Joanne?
You know what? Yeah, as me being a mentor, I've got a few people underneath me. You know what I'm finding? For me, what helps with my downline is for them to understand it really well, is I help them build their first ad together.
Uh-huh.
Because you know how people are always confused about targets and how do I find a target? And I find when I'm helping them build their first ad, I get them thinking about a target. So, because I remember when I first did it, remember Helena? I always thought it had to be a demographic. Like I thought I had to be a dental assistant. I remember my leads were like $40, $32. And I remember thinking to myself, this can't be this complicated. And sometimes we make it more complicated. So what I've done with my downline is their first ad, I do it with them. And then you know what? Then they get it. And then they're ready to go.
Oh, okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome idea. To walk them through their first ad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they get it, everything right from day one, like all the steps, and it's the targeting. So I could show them, like, if you put a, let's say if you put like wedding, right, and then it gives you all the suggestions, and then it gets them thinking out of their comfort zone. Because then I also ask them, what do you like? Because you know how Mike and you and Paul have always said, Joe, you're your biggest target. Come on, think about it, right? Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, it took me like months. And even, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't really, really, really understand it until January, until I really went in 100%. And I'm like, shit, now I get it. Now it makes so much sense. So that's what I'm saying. So now building ads, and then I showed them how to be creative, like kind of pictures, what kind of sentences and words to put in their headlines and in their first 5 letters, in their first 5 sentences. And you know what? I haven't had an issue. No one comes back and asks me any more questions after that.
Nice. Very good suggestion. Yeah. Yeah, as long as you still have time. Like once you become really busy, you might find, oh, I just can't do that anymore. But yeah, exactly.
I don't know, Helena. Helena, you know me, I'll make time to help somebody do it. Even if I'm doing one at 10 o'clock at night, that's just me. I'll always, and I tell them all the time, I'll always make time, unless I'm somewhere where I can't do it. And then, but you know what? I always let them know when I'm available and when I'm not, and they just love it, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I think because it's out of the box. People have never done something like this before, totally out of their comfort zone, and it is like it's and. Some people too, the video training is great, but to actually put it into practice is another thing. And
look at Julia and Jane. I helped them with their targets. Now they're finally, she got a buyer today, and I'm like, there you guys go.
Yeah.
But I had to get them to think outside of the box, those two. But hey, they're on a roll now.
They are certainly on a roll. Exactly. I'm so glad for them. Yeah. Well,
because in all the masterminds, everybody always talks about targets, remember? Like even Darren's like, really, we got to talk about it again. So I just found if I help them do their first ad or help them like to think outside the box, like I found that's really helping them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know. Just a tip for somebody else if they want to do it.
Yeah. You mean like the point about helping your new people?
Yeah.
No, you're right. That's a very good suggestion. So do you do the screen sharing or do you do it in person?
No, I do the Zoom. I bought the Zoom, right? And we do the screen sharing because that Zoom is amazing. Like, because it's visual. They can see what they're doing, and like I think that's the best thing. Yeah, I pay monthly for the Zoom, right? Okay. But I'm using it, so
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we also have like
go ahead.
And we also do like what you do. You know how you're doing these Zoom meetings every 2 weeks? I also do the same in case there's a question that pops up, right?
Yeah. And sometimes people feel more comfortable just asking like in a smaller group setting, right? That's one of the reasons that I knew for the longest time I needed to have these Zoom meetings, and it took me forever to get down to it because I just didn't feel like people wanted another night to go to a session. But I soon realized that, oh my gosh, our masterminds that we do on Wednesday as a group, they're so large, like especially the way, Curtis's business there would just boomed, and then Michelle came along. Like there's so many people's questions are going to be they're going to be missed. So
yeah, no, and I think it's awesome because I'm also part of the 50s group club with Deborah as well, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we do all these Zooms and we have so much fun because everybody bounces ideas, but they're smaller group. So I always tell everybody who's ever 50, join that club because it's fun.
Deborah put that group up more for people who, I remember when she first started that group, it's like she said, for us people who weren't born and raised on a computer. Do you find that a lot of them, like I've never joined the group simply because I was sort of born and raised on a computer through my work all my life, right? So I just never joined. Yeah. But would you say that it's actually not so much about that? There's a lot of other stuff that goes on in that group?
Well, yes and no. Like, again, most of the people's issues are targeting every time we have one, right? Mm-hmm. And it's also people that are frustrated because remember, you're older, right? Like they're 50 and above, and I get it, right? And a lot of people, like I have a few in my downline that their computer skills it's hard, and I think they feel intimidated in the big group, so they love that 50s group.
Yeah. That's cool.
Right. And then, so we all answer each other's questions. Right. And well, Troy joined now. He hops on there now. Nickerson all the time.
Yes. Mr. Radio announcer man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about anybody else?
But yeah.
But no, go ahead, Joanne.
Everybody's so quiet.
I was just going to say, if anybody else has ideas and suggestions, or even, if you, like Joanne brought up a really good point, in helping your new people, by doing actually their first ad with them, because that way there's less chance of them going to be, like for example, flag words. If let's say they somehow miss that part in the training, that they need to really be careful with the flag words, because you do see ads coming across your news feed and you think, oh dear, they're going to be shut down soon, right? Which also helps prevent that. Because sure, yes, they should have watched, they should have done the training on it, they should have seen it. But all in all, the desired result is you want them to be able to be up and running. So even if it means you have to take some time to help them with their first ad, I think that's excellent still. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's 7 days in the week, right? So, and it doesn't take long to do it, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they really appreciate it. So
yeah. Oh yeah. I would believe so. Yeah. You have an awesome group, by the way, Joanne. We met up with Joanne, Bavin. Oh, gee, there was more of us. And anyway, it was wonderful. Like wonderful, wonderful people, all in Calgary too. That was kind of neat.
There's quite a few of them from here, which is funny. Yeah. Now, Donna and Stephen are in PEI. And they're going to reach out to you, by the way, Helena.
Okay.
They want to be invited to the Maritime meet and greet, because they're in PEI. And I said, and I don't have the link yet. I said, well, just reach out to Helena and she'll tell you.
What was their names?
Donna and Stephen Burke, remember?
Yes. Yep. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're in PEI now. They're there all summer now.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be exciting to go down to PEI. I've never been into the East Coast. I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh, you've never been? Oh, man, it's beautiful. And the seafood is to die for.
I said to Paul, every day I'm going to eat seafood, just so you know. He says it doesn't grow on trees there,
Yes, it does.
Oh yes, all these Maritimers are looking at us and saying, "What's so special about seafood?"
We're awesome people.
That's right. We're number one.
And our seafood is good. Joanne's right.
Oh, neat. Oh.
Yeah. I even bring lobsters home with me, Helena.
Do you?
Yep. I bring them home on the plane with me.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I just love it. It's like, to me, it's like manna from heaven. Hey, what about anybody else? Anybody else have questions while we're still on the subject of mentoring people? Anybody have a question? There's no such thing as a stupid question, by the way. There really isn't. When you, like, especially for me, because like I thought I was fairly savvy, but when this business came around, like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And I would say stuck on something for hours or days simply because I would refuse to ask, and I couldn't seem to find the answer on Google. I was a Google queen. I'd rather than ask Darren, like, oh no, he's going to think I'm stupid. And so I would not reach out. And, but so if anybody has a question, you know what? I'll never judge you. I don't think anybody else will either, because this is, like Joanne mentioned, it's a business that's totally different. So when it comes to mentoring, anybody who has a mentor or will be a mentor, feel free to, ask.
I noticed when I sent in to Vancouver, because I've been dealing with the States, Toronto, and now Vancouver, but they changed their address. I think it's Canada to Magic or something now. It's not Vancouver.
Oh yeah, that's right. Our training site has been updated on that. Yeah, it used to say Toronto or
Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver. Yeah, it has been.
Has it? Because I didn't know. Okay. Yep, that's fine.
If yours doesn't show it, then maybe you probably have to log out and log back in, Helena.
You know what? I haven't logged out, I don't think, since I even started 6 months ago. So yeah, I'm missing some updates.
That's right. Yeah, you probably need that update. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that.
Boy, yeah, you've been dealing with a lot of different offices, And I would, yeah.
Yeah. Getting some experience, that's for sure.
Exactly. Who was it? Was it Angela that had the experience? And I had the same experience, and I forgot about it. When you have a new distributor in the States, and the training site says you're supposed to email it to Florida, I believe, or is it to the other? Or which one? Anyway, it's not that one. They actually only do pickup and machine stuff. They don't actually do any. Do you remember Angela? Is she still with us? Because she had that. Oh, here she is.
Yeah, Florida doesn't send them out anymore. So
Right.
they send them to LA. You have to email LA,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like cc@enagic.com. That's who sends them out now. But I think, what did they have? Oh, I can't remember.
So it's Florida that doesn't do the orders anymore. Is that correct?
No, Florida doesn't.
Florida doesn't. Okay, that's exactly what. Because I had some North Carolina orders, and they were supposed to go to the Florida office, and it didn't. I got the same email like you did, and we need to update our training site for that.
Yeah.
Because it's not that they're. It's not. I think they get this all the time, and it's not that I think that they're annoyed with us. But you can imagine all these orders, and they always have to forward them. So in future, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, and I also had to, like, there was a point where I screwed up something in the paperwork, so I sent it to LA, and then the Florida office needed something else, so I had to fax off something to them or email,
Ah.
and that was where the confusion was. There was a whole bunch of little things, but it's all straightened out now.
Okay. Good stuff.
Oh, and one thing I made a mess of, when Enagic sends the confirmation back to me stating that my buyer has now got their distribution ID, that actual message is supposed to be then forwarded with the new welcome letter that we add to it. Is that right, Helena?
Yes.
Then it's CC to Rebecca.
Yeah, it goes
so,
to. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Sorry.
Do we actually? Because like I know in the United States, I got a letter, and so did I think my buyer got one too, or the distribution. Anyway, but it was this big like, congratulations, you're now a distributor. Welcome to Enagic. I got one myself. But nobody else so far they haven't been doing that. So I don't know if they're just stopped doing that or if they're not busy. It's just like, okay, here's your distributor ID number for such and such. And then they'll give the numbers for whatever products they purchased, right? Mm-hmm. Remember I asked you on one, is this a confirmation? Because I sat like waiting a couple of days for a confirmation, welcome to Enagic. But there was no big like welcome. It was just, here's the number. Mm-hmm. So that's what confused me.
Yeah, the same thing happened with me.
Yeah.
So they just gave a letter stating her distributor number or whatever, her numbers, and that was it. And she got one on her end and nothing else. It wasn't broken down like you got this, and this. It was just, congratulations, you're a distributor.
Right. Okay. You know, that is, and I believe the offices are not quite the same. Like I know the US office is definitely not the same as Vancouver, and I know Toronto does it slightly different as well. I'm going to see, because what Rebecca is instructed to do is check out to see if that email is coming from Enagic saying that they are a distributor, because anybody can write an email. So they want to see, like Mike wants Rebecca to make sure that email is truly from Enagic saying they have a new distributor. I'm just going to quickly see if I can find, okay, it would be my sent folder, Dream Team. And I'll just give you an example, what they're looking. Oh, that's not going to be right. Dream Team. It's Dream Team Online or something. Nothing there. Okay, why? Is it DT online? Or maybe it is DT online. What is that email? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, who should I pick on? I'm going to do this one. Okay, I'll share my screen and I'll show you what they're looking for. So, okay. All right. Oh, I don't need that. Okay, where's my email? Can you guys see my screen now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is one of the emails that I got for one of our distributors. Okay, so it said, Dear Paul, okay, so it said, Dear Paul, the order for Jensky is processed today. Below is the new ID number. Thank you. And so they would have his new distributor ID and the sponsor ID and then the rank of that ID, which was our rank for this account. So if you check this email, it clearly shows that it came from Enagic. That other email that you get from Enagic themselves, I think it's Enagic USA, that's more of a just congratulations, you now have a distributor. It's not a confirmation of the order that the order has been processed. So this is kind of what you're looking for. Like this is a very plain Jane one. Let's see how this one looks.
From the US though, you also, previous to the congratulations letter, you'll get the one that the order's been processed. So
Okay.
Should we be using the one that we get before the congratulatory?
Well, so did you receive, like when you emailed them, like, how when you email them, they'll say hello, like this is what the format according to the training site that we need to use. And so hello, please find attached new to do, okay. And so they respond to that email. Does the US do that as well, Angela? I forgot, like I can't remember my last, which was, because this is what they do. Say, hi, Helena, the order for Russell is now complete. So you know what, see that?
Yeah, they did. I did so many emails back and forth, so I'm a little bit confused as the format.
Okay. But yeah, you want that email that responds to that email. So that's the email that you want to return. You want to then turn forward to the Dream Team Online Office gmail.com. Like this one. And that's what that's just me making up whatever, my little, and also I'm at it here, I was just thought of something. Flock. The Flock entry, like to get into Flock for new distributors, you don't send them anything at all for that. That's the link to get into Flock is in the training site. As soon as it's unlocked for them, they'll have the link under step 1 under first things first. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you don't need to send them anything in Flock. But I would encourage people, if they've had their training unlocked and it's been like 3 or 4 days later, unless they have a really full workload, they just don't have time, which is totally understandable. But let's say that they are working, that they're working on their page and getting, they're doing the training already because they're asking you questions, then it's a very good idea to ask them like about Flock, if they've tried to get into Flock. Because it really does bind everybody together. Like if you're a new person, just to have access to Flock is, a wonderful, like a group thing. So,
Mike, where's the speakers at? Oh, how come you didn't bring them in?
All right.
Helena.
Yeah.
Maybe one of us could talk to Leanne that works with USA quite often, doesn't she?
Mm-hmm. Most of her stuff is US, yeah.
Yeah, she could probably clarify a lot of the stuff that we're having when we sell to the US or whatever.
If she could do a little more of a, how she does it so it goes fastest, you mean?
Well, yeah, because we have the example for Canada in the training. Maybe if we had one for the US, it
Yeah.
might help a little. It's
So what
not the same.
they're no, not quite the same. No. I'm just going to check what running our business, completing, submitting new sales, sending in Canada. So for the US, we have sending in the USA. All orders and non-orders should be, okay, and that's what we need to change because it's not the LA office at all. So yeah. I think the template to use to email Enagic though for new orders, that probably remains the same. Because like Leanne was involved with that part. Like she was very, very involved in all the new sales for our training site, all that information. What do you think is the biggest difference for you, Angela, now that you've done that? Like, what did you find the biggest difficulty with?
Well, I think just because all of our stuff was through Vancouver office.
Mm-hmm.
So you're expecting to get the nice format that Vancouver gives, which the USA doesn't.
Exactly.
They just give a bunch of words and a little fluff, and
yeah.
there you go.
I'm gonna go check for mine because I remember that I have a couple US ones here. Okay, that would be more recent. Oh, here's one for Gilbert. Oh yeah, what I did is I said, I had to, I emailed her back. I said, could you send me the IDs for completed orders, please? And that's what I did. And so she did respond. She responded almost right away. She says, hi, Helena, the ID is da-da-da. Thank you. And so and that's the email that I forwarded. So that's what I did, Angela. I emailed them and say, could you please send me a message confirming that the order is complete? And she did. She responded and did exactly what I needed.
Because the email, they only gave me one number, but they gave Christina, she got all of the numbers, all three.
Oh, and they only gave you one of, really?
Yeah.
Ah.
And that was the machine sale.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And I did phone them about which number she should use, and I probably sounded like a real idiot when I called them because I didn't really know what I was talking about at first because I didn't understand the whole question that my buyer was really looking for. And they said that she could use any of the numbers, but I wanted to know which one the machine was because that's typically the one that you would want to put your numbers under.
Yeah, you want to always sponsor people with the ID that made you a distributor. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where you want to place your people. So it is important. It definitely is important to have all those numbers. So yeah.
But they did say that you could use any one of those legs.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The way Mike explained it really good one time about why you want to use the ID that you were sponsored with. Just a minute, if I can. I'm just trying to put myself there right now. Okay, so in a normal Trifecta Nespa, so that's the one you were sponsored with. Oh, I think it's later on when you are going to build extra legs. Something to do with that. Oh, I gotta think about that for a bit. Yeah. So anybody else have any questions regarding those forms or sending them to Enagic? Anything that kind of we haven't talked about or whatever? Anybody else? Or sponsoring a new person, like adding them to the Facebook Dream Team, chatting with them, anything like that? Any kind of, because it does, I know for me when we first started and we got these buyers and all I had to do was add them to the Dream Team or if we were friends or wait for Mike to do it if he was friends. And I felt like, oh, is this all I need to do? And you felt like, oh, I need to do more. I'm missing something here, right? So I don't know if anybody else is feeling that way, but it is truly, it's, we always want to make it harder than it actually is, because it's the 90% done for you really works in that as well. There's not much you need to do. Like I would reach out to them saying, hey, just I sent you a Facebook friend request. Just wanted to say hello. I've added you to the dream team, and that was it. And then I would wait for them. They would message Mike, or not as message Mike. Mike was the coach at the time. It's different now, but when he was the coach, he dealt with them. I did not communicate with them at all until Mike sends me a message on Skype and said, oh, your new distributor, that kind of thing. And then I would send in the forms, and that's the only contact I had with them afterwards. That's the most of our business, is how we like that. Unless people really wanted to know more from me directly, I had very little communication with them, because Mike told us earlier on that people talk to their would-be distributors too much. Like you talk them into the business, and then you talk them out of the business. So I took that very literally. I thought, nope, I don't know much about it. Mike's the master. I'm not saying nothing. And so unless they ask me a question, like you don't want to avoid questions, but most of the questions are best left for them to just talk to their coach. But if you feel like that, that you are evading their answer, you don't want them to feel that way. So it is important. Like I know one of, she's not here today, but I won't mention her name, but she asked me a bunch of questions, and I felt like, no, I need to address the questions, because she wanted to know from me, because we were sponsoring her. She wanted to know our results. So I told her. I was very upfront. But for generally, I would say most of the time I didn't talk much to our people, because that was the coach's job. So yeah. Anybody else got something to say about that?
I'm just waiting to fall into the steps of one by one. So when I get to that section, I'll just take it one step at a time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm waiting on my first distributor, Stephanie, which you talked to yesterday.
Yes. Yes.
So hopefully tomorrow.
Yes. She's an awesome person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also if you, every time you guys do have a buyer, being that I'm the coach now, like they are instructed to friend the coach in that initial email that they receive. So I will always, soon as I add them to the dream team, like if I accept their friend request, I add them to the dream team, and then I'll message you that, hey Sandra, your buyer is added to the dream team, ready for you to welcome. But if someone, like let's say I'm away from Facebook right at the moment when someone has a buyer. So Helena McGinnis has a buyer, and I'm not on my computer, I'm doing stuff. And so someone else, like let's say Helena is a friend of that person. So she adds that buyer to the dream team, and now she needs it to be approved. Well, a lot of times when I'm not around and somebody else approves that buyer, you don't know if that buyer has been approved or not. So you don't know if you could do your welcome. What I would do if it was like hours, and I was like, come on, someone in the who's an admin must have approved my buyer. So I would periodically go check Mike's, because Mike was the coach. I would go check his friends list, or I would just check the members list on the dream team to see if my new buyer was in there. And then I know, oh, they're in the dream team. Okay, I can, nobody's told me that they've added her, but that's just a way for me to find out that they are in the dream team, and I have not welcomed them yet. Because the sooner you do sooner you get people into the dream team, the sooner you do your welcome, the better. Like that's something you don't want to wait on.
Helena?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hi, Catherine.
Hi. So I just had two things. I just couldn't remember how to get you to hear me for a second there. So I just wanted to go back. A few minutes ago, you were saying when we were talking about your new distributors and getting the emails. I don't know. I know you're so busy, but my distributor, Lisa Clark, when the email never did come to me. from Toronto. You helped me with that there. And it's, is there anything I should do about that? Because I never did actually receive the email
Okay.
from them.
So you have nothing.
Should I?
So you have nothing to forward to the office, you mean? Still?
Oh, no. No, that was all done and everything. Like,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't, yeah, you helped me with that, but it was, I officially did not get an email from Toronto at all. So even though like Lisa got her product and all of that, I did never receive it. Is that going to be a problem? Or
Yes.
should I?
I remember this.
It will, right?
Yeah, I remember, Catherine. That's right.
Yeah.
As soon
Like
as you started
Rebecca and I.
Yeah. What I did is I
Yeah,
felt
like Rebecca helped me.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
is that okay? Like I have her ID number and she has it and everything, but I just never received it. And at the time, Toronto said, "Oh yeah, we're just doing something updates or something." So yeah, should I go back on them and ask them for an official one, or would that be okay to let that be because we do have her number and I have it and she has it?
Yeah, it's okay to let be, because what we did in that case, because it seemed like something was going on in their office, right? And so, yeah, you can just let
It's
that
okay
one be.
then?
It's okay, yeah. But yeah, anytime someone has the same thing happen as what Catherine means, like she got no email, nothing, but she got her product already. Like, what the heck? What's going on here, right?
I know. It was messed up.
Very messed up. So in that case, reach out to me, because I do have access to when people, like what Enagic does, they put those names on a list that I have. And so I can see the new distributor on my genealogy. So that's what I did for Catherine, as I cut and pasted, or like I took a screenshot of just that spot on the genealogy report. Yeah, and that's what I sent you, and then you use that to get Rebecca to
send it off to
her. So yeah, that works. So
okay, and then
that happens to somebody, reach out to me for help on that, because we don't want them, because they're waiting, right? So yeah, you did the right thing, Kat. Yeah.
Okay, and then I have one other thing, is I think it was last week I had a new buyer. Her name is Adela. I think that's how you pronounce it, Adela Bull. But I never received an email saying that she got a refund. And I checked the member site every day, and she never friended me or any of that. So I don't want to leave the lady hanging if she paid the $99, didn't get her money back. But I know you've helped me last year trying to search her through the email, like to get her on Facebook. But I mean, I don't know how else to, find her really.
Yeah.
Or, because I know once she paid that $99, I mean, she's getting emails already from me. So I don't want to like harass people.
Exactly.
But how weird is that? You pay the $99, you don't get a refund, but you don't follow the steps in friend or anything.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to, but I don't know what to do. Like, what do you do with people that can't follow instruction, right? You don't,
yeah.
Like really, there's really not a lot we can do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
so true.
I don't know.
If I could, I should have made a list of all the people who paid the $99 to be buyers and that I've never heard from. I don't understand that. Like in Canadian, that's like $130.
I know, like what's the matter with people?
Like what's the matter?
Weird.
I don't understand them.
I know.
But yeah, like sometimes though, some things can go wrong. Like sometimes, like either like, there will be dropped, how would I call it? It's something, the system drops once in a while and it's not totally preventable. So you do want to check to make sure they got their coaching email. And so if you are friends with them or anything, you want to be sure that they have their coaching email. That is, that goes back to my initial conversation with the buyers that we had. In the beginning, I would check Infusionsoft to make sure that they had that coaching email listed under their name. And so that, and if I saw that was clicked, then I knew that they're all good. I don't even have to ask them nothing. But in other times, I would, if almost a month had passed and they still I was never able to catch it, because sometimes, all those emails, they run down and that email disappears from the list. You can't tell if it's clicked or not. Then you're out to lunch. And if you're not friends with them, there's really nothing you can do. I would always wait a day or two or maybe 3, and then I'd email them, because, our emails that we send out from our business email addresses, they're not an email campaign. So let's say a lot of their emails that they're getting from our email campaigns, they're going to their junk folder. Well, because you initiating an email from your business email address to them saying, hey, just checking to make sure if you got your coaching email, like a little friendly, short little email, and you don't have to include any links in it, because there's a chance of it'll go to their junk folder again. So what I would do is I would just say, just to see if you received your coaching email. And if they don't respond to that, then I never sent another email. I would only one time. They got one shot.
Okay, so all right, so should I do that then with that lady?
Yeah,
because it's been a week.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just send her a regular email and because I've been she's not in the member site, and I guess she hasn't friended you, obviously, or me.
Yeah.
So I was just not sure if I should, it's been a week I'm thinking. So I was thinking, kind of dumb, like. So okay, so I'm gonna send her a little quick email then and just say hey, and do that, because I don't know what's happened there. Okay, sounds good.
Send her a quick little email. Just ask her if she's received her coaching emails or coaching email, and then if she responds to it, then send her another email back with your Facebook friend, your Facebook profile link, so that she can friend you. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that then.
Yeah. So hopefully that works.
Thank you.
I know it's just,
It's silly.
And another thing I might add here too is I have so many friend requests from people that I've never accepted. And I'm sure all of you guys do, right?
Me too.
I have so many. So, if you want to message me, say, Helena, do you have a friend request from my buyer? I don't mind you guys messaging me like that, because I hate to miss, not accepting the friend request from a new buyer. It's not like it's going to fail if I don't accept the friend request. It's because they can still book a coaching call, right? Because it's all email. Yeah.
Helena, where would you like us to message you on? What do you prefer?
I prefer Flock.
You do? Okay. And the one that I send you a message on, that's where I would message you on. Okay.
Yeah.
Or do you like the new one with all of us?
If you tag me, I'll see it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Anybody else have something on that? I see we have Daryl Dix who joined us. We're not just women. Oh, you're a brave man. Paul was around and he came back from the dump just now. I can hear him outside.
I've been here for a while.
All right.
No one noticed.
I'm glad you're here with us. I know for a lot of people this might be early, like for all those people on the more the westerner provinces. And I think I was just saying in the beginning, we might have to make it a little bit later for those people. How late is too late, Daryl?
Well, I mean, even the masterminds here, they start at like 10 o'clock.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's why probably a lot of people on the East Coast don't get on the masterminds all the time. Myself, I've been having a hard time getting onto them, so I've been watching the replays. The last week they did a Zoom, so I was able to get on that no problem. But I made some changes to my computer since then. I'm trying to just wait, so tomorrow night I'll see if I can get on the normal mastermind if they have it.
Oh.
For whatever reason, I couldn't get any video or anything on it, so.
Oh, okay. Huh, that's not good. What about can you watch the mastermind, like once it's saved to the member site, can you watch it then?
Yeah, I can watch the replays,
but
just
still,
not live.
But it's not live. Yeah. Anybody else have that issue? No? Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was hoping Paul would pop in here, but I think I probably I made him do a bunch of paperwork for me today. He's going to make himself scarce. Huh. Having him home full time. Huh. He's got a honey-do list. I'm so bad. Oh, gee, no, he actually kind of enjoys it. He feels more like he's helping. Okay, I did want to bring up something more. If nobody has, feel free to interrupt me anytime, guys. Oh, I did want to say one more thing about the forms that I send out, the DocuSign forms. It's very important once you're done, the sponsor, mark it done. It's because that way it comes back to my side that it's done, that I don't have to monitor that one anymore. Just a little side note there about that. Okay.
Can I ask a question about that DocuSign? So if it's possible that we can just fill that right out without having to save and do it and whatnot, right? Like I ran into that issue and you said click done, but I couldn't because of the information that I needed to add and it couldn't go on those forms. Anyway, my last distributor, I clicked done, right, on the DocuSign because everything was all filled out. She messaged me back. She says, do I have to fill out another sign again? Another form again? She said, I already did it twice. So it just went back to her and you showing that it was fine from my end. Did you know that happens?
Yes. Once you click done, I get an email, and also the applicant gets an email saying the forms are now complete.
Okay.
So
sometimes I can't do the DocuSign, so I just let you know that they're done, and then you had to do something on your end.
Okay. So did you, in that case, did you download the forms and then do it manually?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I downloaded them and I did it with the, I don't know if it's my Mac computer or the Adobe that's actually doing the form. And then I'm emailing that form. So it's not the actual DocuSign I've been using.
Oh, so, okay. What kind of problems are you having with DocuSign, Helena?
Well, it gets to the point where I can't actually fill in anything. I can only fill in a certain things, but then I can't add like my number and 2A and, there's certain spots that it won't actually work.
You know what? Next time that happens, how about we get on a Zoom or probably Zoom, and you share your screen with me. I want to see that, because if that's something that is going out wrong on certain forms, I need to correct that. Okay, let me know.
Or it's me
again. What's that?
It's probably me not knowing what the heck I'm doing. But yeah, definitely I will. So bring on the buyers, and that's it. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
All right. No, but now I know that the distributor or the new buyer, the new business owner, I guess, will be getting a message saying complete, because she panicked and she messaged me and I'm like, no, it's just showing it's completed and sent to Enagic. So,
good answer. Good answer. Yeah. Yeah. See, once that form is complete, what they can do is they can download a PDF to their computer. Even though once they get their product, they'll also get those same forms, and then Enagic actually writes the Enagic IDs on those forms with the products when they get delivered. Well,
I have copies, so if they need one, I can forward to them if need be or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get her figured out.
Yeah. Practice and patience.
That's right. That's right. It's exciting. It's exciting to get those forms, like to do that as a sponsor. It's, I remember when we were first starting out and I got my first form. Our first distributor ever was from the States. Because back then we would advertise Canada and the US all the time. And which we don't much anymore. But back then, our first time was like a 19-year-old guy. And he bought in with an Ukon, and he was such a unique character. And I'm never going to forget our first buyer, because it was exciting. Like having to do those forms and anything, it's fun. It's definitely made this business real to have those forms. And of course, I'm a sponge. I like to learn. And so I'll just never forget that day. Never forget that time. Because of course I was very nervous. We didn't use DocuSign back then. Mike just used like Adobe Reader. And then Mike decided to get more technical. And of course, I like everything. I'm such a nerd. Anything technical, like all that kind of stuff, that's up my alley. Because I know Curtis, he doesn't use DocuSign. He still uses the old Adobe fill-in for his sponsors or his group.
Yeah, I like Adobe, but see, I don't want to get used to something that's not what I'm supposed to be using. So, and I think I may have figured out how to save in Adobe and then work at it too.
Right.
So this computer's new, and I think that's my problem. I didn't really have time to play with it, and I'm not taking the time to play with it. Not that I don't have time, because I got lots of time, but I'm not taking that time. I think I need to do some lessons here and there and learn.
And you know, anybody who's receiving these forms, and let's say the like your applicant, like your sponsored person now, they have filled in the forms wrong. For example, that you know that they meant to check mark the JR2, not the K8, for example. What you do then is you print out those forms. You can manually fix them. And what I use for that is I use another PDF editor called Foxit Reader for that. That's what I use. So I can still do it electronically. I don't have to print the form, so I'm not using any paper, not using any ink. I'll use Foxit Reader to edit those forms, and then I'll send those to Enagic. And that's another thing. If you want to, let's say you're on the road or you just don't have time, we're not Mike and Darren yet. We're not 6A2-something. I could still, if you're really finding it difficult, or you just, you're busy at your jobs and that kind of stuff, and you don't mind waiting a little bit if I don't have time right away, say, Helena, can you edit these forms? The guy picked the wrong product, or, whatever. That's something that I'll say that today for sure. I mean, maybe in the future I'll say, "Hi guys," or you'll say, "Oh, Helena takes forever to get back to me." So you'll just say, "No, I'm not doing that no more." But anyway, my offer is there. Definitely, if you need that.
Yeah, no, I'm taking advantage of that. Thank you. Just figured it now. But for a look at them and check them over. Definitely. I'm going to ask you to do that.
Yeah, always. Always ask your when you're doing your first or even the second one, your first paperwork, second paperwork, even the third. If you feel unsure at all, ask your mentor to check over your paperwork, because that way it doesn't take any delay once it gets to the Enagic office. It is super important. I did it. I certainly did it, and I. Mike would look at it. It only takes a couple of seconds, and they say, "Yeah, it's good." See, because we use DocuSign, soon as you hit done on them, I get an email saying they're done. So I can right as soon as you say, "Helena, can you take a look at it?" I can go and open that form. I can see everything right there. So it's very little. It takes me very little. So if nobody has any questions more on that lovely DocuSign. What I was going to also bring up, and we are already at 4, my time is almost 4:45 here, is making ads. Something that I should plug in my computer here before it gets done. Is the flag words that we have that not to use on the member training site, the flag words in a story ad, ones that are extremely important not to have in your ad. What I do is, even though you can look at your story ad and you look at the flag words side by side, and you think, no, I don't have any. But you know what? I find, and this is just because Facebook is being so ridiculous right now with denying people's ads and even shutting ad accounts down, as everybody knows, like Joanne was talking about earlier, is put the whole text that you have, put that in your Word document, or have your mentor do it if you don't have Word, and then have them run it against the flag words. Because what the Word application does, it'll actually highlight every time, like when you put income, for example, or let's say, something easy like Facebook. You'd think that you would see all the let's say by mistake you have used Facebook in your text, which of course I don't think that's a mistake that people use very easily. But let's just pick on that. Anyway, let's say you have 2 or 3. Well, Word will pick up every instance of that word Facebook. It just does it electronically. It's one of the neatest things to do, and it goes really quick. So what I've done for a lot of our new distributors is I'll have them send me their story ad. I put it into my Word, and then I'll quickly, every word that we have listed on the flag words list, I'll apply that to the document. And then very often people think they have no flag words in their document, but they did. It's weird how we miss things. Like especially online income. That's a word that seems to get missed a lot, and it is a flag word, right? So that's just something I was going to talk about that. Oh, and now, way back when we were new, our very best ad that, the one that's still running that I just do not like, what I did, and I'm sure at the time, and I just want to put this in something like a little tip. And I'm not sure if it still works with Facebook, because Facebook has changed since we started. But what I did is if I knew we were going to target construction workers, then I would have the word construction workers in my story part, my ad, or in the video. So I would use the same targets that I was going to target. I would use those same words in my story ad. And what that helped is Facebook's algorithms, because they had to do less work to get the ad out to the correct targets, and then somehow it seemed to, and Darren and I were talking about it back in, I think it was probably November or December of 2016. And that turned out into our best ad. And so I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Like, that's an idea. Like, so if you're making your story ad and you know that you want to target chocolate pie, well, no, that's just a silly example. Maybe I'm hungry for chocolate pie. But anyway, I would have the word chocolate pie in my story ad or in the video. And that it just seemed to help with the Facebook algorithms. I was reading notes from way back when we were first starting to advertise. So, and I thought, hey, I'm going to bring that up because, maybe it's still relevant. Oh, Maggie joined us. Hi, Maggie, the funny lady. Every time I see Maggie's posts come across my news feeds, I almost have to laugh out loud. And I'm not someone who laughs out loud very often. I go to the theater, Maggie, and I don't even laugh at the jokes. When we go to
that's fun.
Oh, you're fun.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm in the truck and heading home. Morley's inside picking up a pizza.
Ooh.
Yes, I know. I don't want to drive. I don't want to cook. I don't want to drive either, but I don't want to cook and drive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The cook and drive.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So has everybody got the invite? Maggie posted a new group for the Calgary meetup. So if anybody who's not there, send Maggie a message or me, and we'll just add you. Or, anybody on the McLean team. Like, also, that brings to the point, like, if you are a mentor, please add them to our McLean chat on Flock. All right.
I can't make the meetup. My niece is getting married on the 25th, so I can't miss that.
And you know what, Helena, that would have been amazing. You've been at so many of the meetups, even living on the East Coast like you do. Amazing.
I was invited to one in Ontario too, but I can't make that one either. And I'm like, oh, oh well, I'll have to see one on here in Breton.
Yeah. I just think it's so awesome, Helena. You've got your own daughter in the business. That is so cool. So neat.
Yeah, I added her to your chat, Flock, but she's at work, so yeah, she doesn't even know that she even got her distributor ID yet, or that that it's okay. So yeah,
Okay.
she's working, so she's
Okay.
excited to start. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So I'm excited for her.
Yeah. Mr. Don White. How are you, Don? Oh, he's busy. He said, "Oh, I should have turned my camera off. She saw me." We met up with Don and Colleen in Peachland a couple weeks ago when it was sunny outside. That was awesome to meet up in person. I know this is an online business, but to meet up with people, if you have the chance to go to any of these local area masterminds meetups, they're more of a meetups, I would say. They're just really puts the business in a different mindset, doesn't it, Don?
Yeah. After Colleen and I had met you and Paul, can you hear me?
Yeah, we sure can. Yep.
It gave me that sense of there's a little bit of doubt about the business, and I know that's a bad thing to say.
No, it's totally real. It's real, Don.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the only other person that we met was Joyce up in Vernon, and it was a quick visit, but we didn't have time to sit down and talk about ads or anything to do with the business. But I mean, we spent 3 hours with you and Paul, and amazing, by the way. And it's just totally different when you see somebody in person. And it gave, Colleen's been so excited about this, even though I didn't tell her way back when that I'd started this when I was back in Alberta, but it gave us both a sense of security, I think is really the bottom line. And I think it's really important if you do get the opportunity to meet people on the Dream Team, people from your area, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's very important. And I know there's a few people here in Kelowna, Vernon, Penticton, and nothing bad to say, but we all talk about getting together. Well, we've got to make it happen. Yeah. Because it just goes a long way. And after Colleen and I talked to you and Paul, I mean, it was an amazing visit. And I think it just concretes things, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it certainly does.
To me, it's important.
Yeah. And we're going to have people in our business that it's important to them too. And so it does the same thing for them as it does for us. And Don, you were here earlier before you joined here in, on our little session here.
And my Joanne, apologies, I just got home from that job.
Yeah, no, I would say that ours is kind of early. Oh, look who popped by. Paul, say hello.
Hi, Paul.
Well, you can't hear him because I got the mic.
Hi, Paul.
Let's see then they can't hear me again, right? Okay. So Joanne was talking about how important she felt like, when you're mentoring new people to actually help them with their first ad. She's saying she's found that as being an excellent just way to get them up and running, because so many people, if they're intimidated, it's like a big elephant and I don't know how to take the first bite. And so Joanne that's one thing that she's done is she's taken almost all of her persons she personally mentors and helps them with their first ad. So that's the same thing, kind of like what you're saying, how these meetups, they did they made a huge difference for you just coming, we went for an hour or two, we went and met you guys up in Peachland. So it did. It's just, what was our first meetup, Paul? Do you remember? With somebody in person. Well, our coaching call was in person. But the Mike and Darren, it was a year later. Oh, well, not quite. It was in July of 2017 or 2016. Sorry, that was 2017. Yeah, it's 2017 that we we went to Vancouver just because we knew how important it was and had to, we went 4 hours for that, and it made a huge difference for us. Like, we were bowled over, because I was one of those people, oh my gosh, like I don't like Facebook. I don't want anything to do with Facebook. And this business is all about Facebook. Like, oh crap. And so when we went to see Mike and Darren and the whole group at their penthouse in Vancouver, it made such a big difference for me. Oh, there's nice people out there. Oh, they're not all just out to be nasty. So it made a huge difference. Yeah, it's important. Yeah.
Well, when we signed up, started up the Maritime group, I think there was only 8 or 9 of us, and now there's over 30. So it grows quite fast. Oh, and we Zoom every Sunday night. And of course, we all chat every morning. It's like we get on, and the first thing we do is good morning, and it's nice. It's most of us have met. There's some that I haven't met yet, but hopefully we'll meet everybody at Elizabeth's and Billy's meetup. Yeah, in August. So, but just that's something, Dawn, for you to think of. You're talking about people in your area that are in the business. Just get together and say, let's pick a night to do a Zoom and stick to it, and it's great. And then more people add more people on as you get more distributors. We keep it strictly to business, just business owners. No, we thought about buyers, but just business owners, because then we can talk business. Yeah. Right. Yeah. We didn't want to confuse the buyers.
That's right.
Yeah. It's, I think I don't know. It's just, do you guys have any suggestions as to how we can organize these get-togethers? Because I put it out there probably 3 or 4 times, and the only one that's come through is Paul and Helena. But just to give them the extra push, because people say that, let's do it. Now maybe I should take control and just say, listen, maybe organize something, and then just see if anybody shows up or if people commit. That's the hard part, is getting people to commit. I don't know. Any thoughts?
Well, it all kind of come together, visits from our Zoom, our group, and then we decided we would Zoom. And I think the initial slowdown, or everybody's nervous, or they're scared, the fear, right? And it's like, and they make an excuse. But I think by doing the group and having it like we have a messenger group, and by then doing the Zooms, because that's just recently started new, and we were all a little shy, but it was, we got our giggles out of the way and our nerves. And now it's great. Now we all look forward to Zooming with one another and chatting with one another. So you could try that, maybe just create a little team in Messenger, start fighting people. You could try that.
Yeah, that's a good point. With the distributors under me, we do Zoom, or we try and do one every week on Sundays. But that's actually a good idea, to actually get people in the within the area, and maybe do that. I don't know. I can't answer that question. I can't. I'm not sure why people don't want to get together, but I mean, any chance I get, or Colleen and I get, we take advantage of. Like I said, Joyce up in Vernon, she was going to be at that wellness fair back a couple of months ago. We made the effort. We went up there and talked to her. But like I said, it was so crowded. We just didn't have time to sit down and talk. Paul and Helena, like I said, we sat down there at Peachland and, shot the poop and talked about things, and so, and it was outstanding. Yeah. Both visits. Yeah.
You're gonna make me cry, Dawn.
You always make me cry, but you know what? You're gonna cry when I kick your butt at golf.
You probably will. Trust me, you will.
You're sweating already. I can see it.
I was outside doing stuff. That's why I'm sweating.
Good answer. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, why don't you, something that you're very big on about when people are making video ads. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
When they're making video ads.
Yeah, like videos. You know how you are, and you know, maybe everybody's heard this from you once already. Hey, can you guys hear us pretty good? Okay, good. So about, okay, you know how Nisreen talks about, and she's one of them that just came to my mind, but she'll do many different takes and then put them all into one video.
Oh, so you
But
can,
see, and Paul, he likes to do the method of one take at a time, and he does the whole video is just one video. They're not a whole bunch of clips put together. I don't know, you know, who's all making video ads or versus story ads, but I know I've seen Daryl do a video ad like that too. It's one video, right, Daryl? Yeah, and that's what Paul does too. But you know what? To each his own. But anyway, why don't you speak a little bit what you do?
This is my own personal thing. I don't like looking at ads, you know, that you watch a little bit, then it's clipped, everybody's clipped all together, like it's all stuck together. I like being original myself. I mean, that's just me. I mean, everybody does their own thing, but I mean, I like looking at stuff where people actually start and then they finish, you know, they're walking around doing whatever. That's what interests me. But I mean, clipping ads, it doesn't really do anything for me.
So why do you think like someone like you doesn't like that? Is it because you think it looks more like it's an ad that way?
Yeah, like I said, this is coming from me. I just find it that it's not yourself. Like you said, when I go do a video myself, I go down to the lake, whatever. I'll do 4 or 5 videos, watch my iPad, and then I'll walk around, and all of a sudden, boom! I'll have it all in my head, and I'll do it all in one shot. And that's bloopers or not, that's what it is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally believe that's the best thing for anybody to do, to have all those little, you know, extra glitches in it. You know, it makes person look real. Like I watch a lot of videos from people there, and I love like a lot of them because they're just, you know, they are themselves, and that's what brings out a lot in people. I think they want to know who you are. You know, that's just my take.
And that
you know?
does go along with like that. We're supposed to use keep it simple, keep it really simple. It makes it more simple. Like because for me, like I love technology, but if I have to take a whole bunch of clips and make one video out of, and I'm like guessing and second guessing myself which clips are best to put into my video and all that stuff. That's, you know, you spend more time with it, and I find it's just not simple.
It's hard doing a video with her, and I tell you, because our welcome video,
the thank you video
probably 20 times before she was satisfied with it. So that's why I like doing by myself, because she's such a perfectionist and stuff. She'd pick it apart. So that's why I don't include her in it.
Actually,
be bluntly honest. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I am such a perfectionist. It's annoying. It annoys me too. We actually have another thank you video we want to put in our funnel, which we did together, which I actually approved, but we still haven't done it because the thank you video they see that only after the fact, right? It's really not that important. I don't think anybody gets chased away unless you're it's kind of indecent or something.
Maybe now, since we've been in it for a while, it'd be a lot easier to do. I think it'd be a lot simpler. You know, we strive so hard that day to do it.
Paul's always saying too, when he sees somebody's video come across the news feed, and he notices that they're actually looking at themselves on the camera versus the eye of the camera.
Joanne was good for that couple of those.
Great
video, but she looked right in here instead of at the camera. It's hard to do.
Like just like when you're a panel member on the workshops, like to look into the eye of the camera, like where your laptop's what's the thing called again? I can't think of the whatever.
The eye of it.
The lens. The lens. Looking into the lens. It is tough. Because, you know, like even me now, I have to really concentrate looking at that little green light.
It took me a lot of practice to do it. It did. But, you know, I can still see everything here, but you look directly in that, and that's what you concentrate in that all the time, eh? But I find too, like I said, my mother one time, my mother still does it. When she talks, she's like this, eh? She's all over the place. She never stares you in the face, you know, and it's like a greasy car salesman, like when car salesmen do that, I like to do this, I like to follow their eyes, and make them see, I like to have eye contact with them. And so that's why I feel it's a great thing when you have eye contact with somebody, they feel more confident with you.
Yeah,
That's the thing I got over. I used to have bad eye contact years ago, but then I got into talking somebody straight on, and you can tell when somebody's, if you're going to buy something, if they're sheepish or not, because they'll drop down. I've stared down a lot of people in my day. Yeah, and it works. I believe in that. I believe that's it's as well as a handshake is. That's what I think anyway.
I'm probably one of the worst for that, because when I'm thinking, my eyes go somewhere else, because I to concentrate and to form proper sentences. Like I look away, and it's a habit that you over the years I've never changed. I never thought I needed to. So this business it's been tough for me to really learn to to look at the camera and still sound like you're making sense, not be wandering, and that's yeah.
I put pieces of the tape on each side of my camera up at the top of my laptop, so it draws my eyes to it, because I'm terrible for that.
Yeah.
So I found putting the tape up there will keep me focused on it.
Oh,
For when I'm doing a video, but
whatever works, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, just if it helps anyone else, I just thought I'd throw that out there. It helped me a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. Mike mentioned it one night, because when people are doing the webinar, they'll have sticky pads all along the top here. Right? Talking to somebody to be like this, they know that they're looking at them. So he said it's tough because people know you're reading off a paper.
Well, that's when if you make a full sentence, then you have to read it. But if you just make a point form little note, I used to I don't do that anymore for panel. I wanted to become better at looking at the lens, and so I would make right by the top of my computer. It was on the computer. I would make notes and just like point form, just like Daryl said. That's how I did. That's how I finally learned to look more at the camera.
That would be actually good. The way news reporters do it, eh? They have their their paper down. They're looking at their laptop, eh? And you could be looking like this, and then coming, oh yeah, well I want to bring up this here too. You can look back at them. You can do that back and forth easy enough too. I mean that would be kosher on the webinar.
Yeah, some people do. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of doing, it's just a couple of things anyway, but. Other than that,
I have a question.
Okay.
How long should a person wait until they do? Oh, in the eye. Okay. Until they go on to a webinar. I haven't done one yet.
Good question. I'm so glad you brought that up, Helena. You know what, Helena? I think this is how we were told when we first started. You will notice that your business does better when you go on the panel. Especially when you have leads, because you know how our leads, they will watch a webinar over and over and over again. And when they finally see you on the panel, and later on, what Mike does after that time, he'll put that replay into your funnel. So because so many people come through as buyers by watching a replay, not watching the live program, they'll watch a replay, and that's when they'll sign up. So that's the replay that they'll watch, is you in it.
And also too, when we send out our email stuff, that says that we're going to be on the webinar, and I've had a couple of people come back to me and say, well, you weren't on there tonight. I said, well, we all take turns because there's so many people in here. So when you go out and show yourself, for sure, that's 100% better. And you can actually use, like when we first started, we went on there and we never made any money when we first started. So we thought, I don't want to lie, I don't know much about this. How much money you make. And then we used Mike and Darren, we used other people as
that was talking to leads though. That was not on the panel.
Oh, was it? No.
Yeah. Oh, remember they never allowed us to be on the panel. Remember Jeff Hughes?
Right,
no.
Okay, yeah, right. Leads, that's what it was. Sorry.
Yeah, it was leads. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want us on the panel.
Nope.
But I mean, there's lots of people right now.
Yeah. I know. I haven't yet. I haven't decided to do it. So the time isn't right yet. Yet.
It's a lot easier, Elena, than it appears. Our first time was pretty scary. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, and Mike wants us to talk about our, you know, if like, let's say you don't have huge dollars, you talk about the dollars that you did make. Because when you think about, if you have, let's say even if you sell two things to somebody, and just getting those checks, like over and above your regular job, right? That's like for people who, so many people, they'll do things that they get so little money on. And this is actually a physical paper check. They got something in the mail, something I did part-time, because Mike really wants people to not talk about what they're going to do, but like not like dreams and wishes.
Hopes and dreams.
Yeah, what he calls them. But stories of, not stories, but testimonies of actual results. Like, you know, some things that you found easy or positive about this business. Like, so that, and you know, you don't have to talk long. You know, if you talk like 10 sentences, you're done. It's totally okay.
I mean, it's okay to talk about us, and you know, if we're not on there, you know, or you know, up your upline or whatever. Always talk about their success, you know. That's another thing too.
Yeah, and I can talk about meeting all of you guys as well. I could talk about that part, the meetups and stuff, right?
That's right. How we made it for you. Yeah. Like,
and you know, you've met us and that, like, we always like say that Mike and Darren, you know, we've been to their house, they've been to our house like 4 or 5 times now so far, you know, so it is real. It's not just you know, fictional characters that are on here. And another thing is that this isn't rehearsed. It's all people that come on here willingly, and it's the blurbs you get is just what it is, you know, so. That's another good thing.
Well, it was cool because when you guys signed me up, you were at Mike and Darren's. It was last fall. And I did a interview with Mike and Darren that same afternoon that I had signed my papers. And I'm like, oh, okay, so they work together. Let's see. So that was my skepticism, thinking, are they all actors? So I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to pinch everyone he is, and I did too. But so I'll remember that. I was like, oh, cool. You guys became sensei, I think, or something.
Any one of you guys do great on there. Don't hesitate to put yourselves out there.
Yeah. And it makes you really feel a sense of community, because before the like, you know, Mike puts out the link 20 minutes or 15, 20 minutes out before the panel, the webinar starts. And so you got, you know, everybody gets a time to chat a little bit.
The ease in moment.
And then afterwards, like after he turns off the camera, like so that it's not live anymore, also we talk again a little bit. So it's another, like, just like we were talking earlier, it's a community feeling, and it's like a rush. Like, it is a rush, because it's like, you know, you're talking like, who, you know, anybody can see, like, this is open to the world. Like, those people I never wanted to market to, oh, they might be watching. So it is a rush. Like, you definitely
and don't look cranky at your partner, because you'll say, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Yeah, like Mike sent me a text one day, why don't you just smile? I was thinking about something else, but I was kind of off in left field there. But or have a glass of wine before you go on or something, you know, just
or two,
I guess. Just to relax now a little bit.
Throw up in the bucket.
It's all good.
Well,
okay, I'll put my name in, and I'll get it done. I'll do it.
Yeah, you know how to do it. You just go up to the like that flock chat. You just go up there and find that link.
Okay. I got nearly 400 leads, so I probably should have done this a long time ago. You mentioned something about Mike and Darren reach out to your leads, or people meet. What did you do there? What were you doing? I don't contact them. You said that you used to reach out to your leads or talk to your leads. Like, I don't connect with any of my leads. I've never done anything there. I just let them build up in my funnel.
Maybe I think I was talking about buyers, right? Oh,
the buyers.
Oh, when we were talking, with Catherine, that discussion.
No, just a minute ago, you said you weren't allowed on the panel. Somebody didn't allow you guys on the panel, so you had.
Yeah. Back when we were still in Infinite Freedom, like Mike and Darren, us, Leanne, Curtis, not Mike, but Jeff was the one he was the Mike. He was the one who ran the show. And I remember Garrett Jensen, he this really stands out to me, but he had quite a bit of success already. But Jeff, for some reason, did not like Garrett Jensen, and he would always cut him off. And because we had some buyers by that time, but nope, success wasn't good enough, or he just whatever. He never encouraged anybody to come be a panel member like Mike and Darren do now. So that's what I meant. Yeah, no, that's all I meant about we weren't allowed to be on the panel.
Like we were saying, our leads, like when a lot of our leads always friend me. So, Messenger and something, right? So I always wave to them back, and I'll say hello, I'll chit chat with them. Every one of them who does that, So.
Yeah, because I know at first, when I first started, I said too much, and I think I scared them away. I think I lost my the first two buyers, because I said too much, and they refunded. But that's okay, because it stopped there. There's no more refunds.
Good.
And I think I was saying too much is what I was doing.
It's, when you're new and you so badly want more buyers, right? It's tough. It's tough to get that we're saying too much, right? And we feel like we want to give them all the information that they'll need, and it's like that. That's another thing that's kind of hard to wrap our brain around in, is how easy it is to scare them off. But I was the one who was later on, like, I hardly even spoke to them. I often, and then one time that Mike said, we use that 90% system to a T. I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I should do more, right? Because I was second guessing myself again. But it still worked. So I guess using the 90% done for you definitely seems to work. And I remember Curtis and I were talking about it one time too. He says a lot of people on his team, they're talking to their buyers too much as well. And yeah. But yeah, like on the coaching calls, that's another thing too. If you once you're 3A and you have any interest in becoming a coach, that's another, like, it's another income source.
It's a good income source.
Yeah, it is. It's all paid to you in U.S. funds. And I certainly don't mind. Like, if one of you becomes a coach, that means I won't be coaching your team anymore, which is fine by me. But so anybody wants to, but what it does, it really connects you with these buyers, would-be distributors, because, they reach out to you for questions. If you have any questions, you chat, you do the follow-up call. I can certainly see about the follow-up, though. Sometimes it is difficult. And I know that's like when Mike, he was so busy with all those coaching calls, and he hired Rebecca to do a lot of his follow-ups. That really helped him. But right now it's still working. Like, I was going to say, I think I mentioned this in the chat one time, but I was going to just bring that up again. If you have a buyer who has their coaching call, and then I always try to book a follow-up call on that initial coaching call, because that's better chances of them becoming, like, to do something will happen. Daryl, this would be something that I remember what happened with one of your buyers. And okay, so we booked a follow-up call. The day comes and they don't answer their phone. Okay, so I send them a little, hey, miss, hope everything's good on your end. And they never, and plus I left them a voice message. But if they never do respond, they never book another follow-up call. But if you feel that they might be a good lead, someone who could have potential, and you want to work with them, even if you don't want to, because sometimes you don't know, right? Or I shouldn't say you don't want to, but sometimes you don't know. Just kind of go on their page sometimes, or their profile, or something comes across your news feed. Go and just kind of like them, and maybe have a casual little, oh boy, that does look cool. Or, man, I want one of those. Or, oh my gosh, that's just what I needed this morning. Just to kind of put your face back in their life a little bit. Especially when because it might not have been at the right time for them. Because some of these coaching calls they were really, really excited in the beginning, and then they, life hits them. Like, for example, they quit their job, or they were fired, or someone gets sick in their family, or they got sick. And all of a sudden that excitement that they had when they initially wanted to do the business disappears. Well, a couple months down the road, or 6 months down the road, it might be a better time for them. So if you're kind of stayed in their face a little bit, it's one little, Shiloh was the one who first brought that up. And maybe it was even Mike and Darren might have brought that up in a mastermind, but when Shiloh, the way he said it, it really stuck in my mind that, oh yeah, I need to do that. And even reaching out to old buyers. Like if you've had a buyer and who've had their coaching call, or they've never had their coaching call, but you're friends, so you know you can message them, just to kind of give a quick little hello, just want to see how you're at, or see how everything's going on your end. Like no pressure, just a friendly little message like that. I'm shedding.
Yeah, you're shedding. Yeah.
That has actually brought us a couple sales because of that. Simply because I reached out to them. So that's another little tip, I guess.
I'd like to say something now that you just brought that up, Helena, just because I have you on right here, right now. So I got a message the other day from Rebecca asking me to message one of my buyers from way back. She ended up having a coaching call with Mike, I believe, but she never bought in. She's not a distributor or anything. But she went on to the Dream Team page, and she started promoting her business, what she does for a living. So Rebecca asked me to please message her. So I did, and I just want you to know that I did message this lady. She did not respond. I was as nice as I could be without saying to her, duh. But I just want you to know, if something comes up again on the Dream Team and you see it, I don't want you to think that I didn't deal with that, because I did.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? So, yeah, because I saw it on the Dream Team page, and I went, oh, shit, what are you doing, lady? But I thought, oh, I don't know what I thought. But I never responded right then. And then Rebecca's like, oh, hey. I was like, oh, shoot. So, anyway, I don't know. Are you not able to remove her from the Dream Team? Like, can we not just like if she does it again, can't you just make it so she can't go in? Or
yes, we can. Yeah, let me know, and I can remove her. Yes, if you have someone that you see is making comments that they shouldn't be, like sometimes they don't, like for example, if they're just cross promoting a different business, they have no idea that they're not allowed to do that. Just let them know.
Yeah.
And if they
I did. I was as nice as possible.
Oh yeah. And if they don't respond to you back at all, then you're kind of wondering, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, if you feel for whatever reason that they might not be something that might be not be a benefit to have them in the Dream Team, because sometimes that can hurt your other buyers.
Well, and that's kind of, and it just for Rebecca having to say something to me, it just makes you feel like, oh, like, I don't know. It was not a good feeling, because I don't know, like I've done what you've been talking about just now. Like her and I are friends on Facebook, right? And she did have a coaching call, and she was interested, but she had some family thing, and she's from another country. And so occasionally, like, I will like her posts and this and that, I try to keep my face out there. But then the other day when I saw that she was promoting her business, I'm like, I knew right then, I'm like, oh no. And it's weird, because I'm probably the only one that knew right then who she was. And then it took a bit for, say, Rebecca to find out whose buyer she was, and then her sending it to me. I was like, yeah. So, but I'm thinking, because she never responded back to me, I don't know if she's going to actually follow like what I said, that it's like not okay. You can't, that's not okay. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but the way that I am and who I am, the way that I talk is very much like, I just want you, like, I hope you understand or something. Have a nice day. I don't know what it was. I put a happy face. Who the heck knows? But I just have this feeling that that's not the last of her trying to promote what she does in the Dream Team. So I'm not sure if she's going to actually just listen. So I'm just hoping that, and I might miss it too. I mean, look how busy. What was there? 42 buyers yesterday? Is it 42 or something? It's like crazy. Like, trying to keep up and like knows if you're going to see the thing there, but I just have a feeling that maybe if she does it again, she's like, we gotta get her out of there because it was not good. I didn't feel good about that at all. So
Yeah,
I'll maybe just text you her name.
yeah, just let me know. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, some
You
people.
can keep an eye out because I don't want
Yeah,
to get a message from Rebecca.
yeah. I know Darren will, because he's someone who has insomnia, so every evening he'll actually go and comb the Dream Team page for certain words that are used in there. Like somebody makes posts, like if somebody says scam or pyramid or anything like that, and then he'll go and he'll go check out that comment and he'll remove them at that time. That's what he does a lot. So
He missed this one.
yeah, he must have missed that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, what do you think? Should we shut her down for the night? And then if somebody else has anything else to bring up, questions to ask, something you want us to talk about, or even have an idea for the next one that we want to spend more time on. Somebody want us to look at their ads, like we could also do that. Like we used to way back in the Dream Team, we would Daryl, I'm not here. I'm saying Daryl Dix. I got your. Now I'm saying Daryl all the time. I meant Darren and Leanne. They would take a look at people's ads, and we could do that too. If you have ads, like let's say you've duplicated in an ad, so you got a bunch in an ad set, and you don't know which one to shut off. We could take a look at your ad. You could screen share, and then we could kind of look and see. Have more eyes than which would that's nice. That's a great thing to do because sometimes just you're not quite sure if you should do it or should I turn this ad off? Like how much money is it costing me? That kind of thing. We could do that too in our little masterminds. That'd be an idea.
Helena, quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started this business without Colleen, because of course she was here in Kelowna. We talked about getting her in when I reach 4A. Now, is there anything stopping us from her doing an ad with me now?
No.
Because I'm shy. I don't even know what to call it when I get in front of the camera. But she rocks. So.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh, Don, you get lead in with you on a video. I can just see it. It'll be crazy good.
I promote that highly. With anybody. It's better to have two is in a video. Like a lot of times, especially if your wife is a welder, like you got there, or and you're construction, or vice versa, whatever like that. It's a great thing for one of you to step in there and just to say a couple of words, and then
Yeah, or do funny in the background. Yeah.
What's that?
Or make funny faces in the background.
Oh yeah, I'm good for that, I guess. But like we said when we met there for lunch, Paul is the, what do we call him, the crazy or the funny one? Like Pauline is. I'm the more reserved, and same with Helena. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
There's no reason at all that you can't have her. She's part of you. Like you guys are a team. It's like Paul and I, we're the same thing as you guys. We're doing this together. We did it as one distributorship. There's no, like, I think maybe sometimes people are confused when they see, let's say who did one this like recently. They'll sponsor their husband or their wife, and then they'll say, oh, congratulations to such and such, their partner, that they've now reached certain level. Well, that person, they basically, what they did is they sponsored each other, but that there's still a team. That has nothing to do with as far as what you're allowed to do and not to do. You are a team. You don't have to separately become distributors or anything. You're a team.
Yeah, I definitely think you and Colin should be on Bond for sure. Or anybody. Any of you guys want to go up there for sure.
Okay, no, thanks for the support and the feedback. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no worries at all, buddy. No worries at all.
Yeah, we should. You guys should do one together on the golf course. Yeah.
Oh heck yeah! Oh yeah, get ready for a pull.
Yeah, when I come back, we're gonna go for a golf game.
I'll support you in your golf, and you can support me in the go live or the video.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Right on. Sounds good.
All right.
Perfect. Yes. All right. Anybody else got anything you want to share or say, kind of thing, or ask? Because it's time for Paul to make us dinner. So, and
Paul is loving retirement.
I do. This is pretty awesome. I like this.
he cleaned the fridge.
That's good. What did he clean?
The freezer.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having the mastermind, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, you're on here, are you? Oh.
Yeah, Paul, I just been quiet. That doesn't normally happen.
Well, I wasn't going to say that.
Oh yeah, right. No, I've just been busy. I've been doing Zoom, so I had to hop on, do another Zoom, and I got to do another one at 8 o'clock tonight.
Awesome.
So
Busy girl.
Cool. That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Hey,
guys
guys.
for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Farewell. Say good night.
Yeah, you sing too.
Okay, how do I get out of here now?